Hey guys and girls, welcome back to another beautiful video on this beautiful channel, this beautiful day. How you doing? Today we're continuing our C++ State RPG series, and I got a few comments. You guys wanted to see this, and this is kind of different, like I said before, from my C++ RPG series, since this is a little more how do you call it? Divided up into files, and it's more about states and stuff. Now, like I said before, I'd rather do this with a scripting language like Lua, embedded into C++, so it's much easier to deal with states and much more fun to code that way. And I'll make a tutorial for that later, but this is like a stepping stone for that series. Anyway, let's just get started. So basically what we're gonna need is, like I said, we have our main function, and we have a game loop and everything and stuff like that, but what we need is a game class. So for those of you who haven't gone through C++ and the C++ tutorials, and you don't know what a class is and you don't know what all that stuff is, please go check that out, but I'll try to explain as well as I can. But what you want to do first of all is you want to add a new item and a C++ class here if you're on Visual Studio. Otherwise, I'll tell you how to do this. Virtual destructor, and then it's going to be called game. So you have game.h, game CPP. So this is basically just a wizard to create a class for you. But a class, all that is in C++, for all of those who already know it, is it's a H file that looks like this. You have pragma once, or if not define, all that stuff, and then you have class game. Now this is, I thought this was only for Visual Studio if you're making another file, but apparently it is also for code blocks, so it shouldn't be a problem. But if you're using something that this doesn't work on, you're getting errors, try writing if not defined game h. So this is basically your file name in all caps _h for the .h, the extension, and then define game.h. For those of you that don't know what this does, you should again watch the tutorials, but let me just explain it quickly. All this does is, if this file is included once, just like we include IOStream, if it's included more than once, this will be defined, and then it won't go through and define everything again once it's defined, even if you include it multiple times. So it's saying that if this code, this can be whatever, as long as these two are the same and there aren't duplicates, if this is not defined, this hasn't been loaded in, then we'll define it, and then we'll do all this and end the if. But the next time this if statement is occurred, or it's kind of called upon and checked, this will be defined the next time this file is included, and then it won't define all this again. So that's basically it, but I'll just use pragma once because that works. And then you want to write a class is written like this. You write class, the keyword, then the name of the class, two of these, curly braces, public and private. So I'm going to make a private part here, and public, and then you want your constructor and destructor. So let me just comment this, constructors and destructors. There we go, and this is just variables. There you go. And here we're gonna have functions. So there you go, that's basically a class. And as I go along, I'll explain everything. So the CPP file is the body of the class. So this is basically just a what do you call it, a template for the class. So it kind of shows you everything it has, everything it needs, all the variables, functions. And the CPP file is where you actually define all those functions. So see, I have a game constructor and a destructor. I'm creating a game constructor and a destructor here as well, but they're being defined here. So I'm gonna actually do something with this. I'm gonna create something here. Now I really recommend you go and watch tutorials again before you start off with this series, because it's not really intended as a tutorial. It's more of a continuation of doing something with your C++ knowledge. So just go ahead and do that. But still, in the constructor, we don't have anything yet because we don't have any variables. So what I'm gonna do is a game class is gonna need states, it's gonna need a bunch of stuff, but I'm just gonna start off by including stuff we're gonna need. Include vector, include IOStream, Probably gonna need include fstream for files later, stuff like that. So I'm gonna need a bunch of stuff in here. This is just a start. So the goal today is gonna be to just create a game class, make sure it works as well, and there shouldn't be a problem actually. Let me just run this. Yeah, okay, so that works. I can press 0 to quit. There you go. So the goal is going to be to create a game object here. So I'm just going to include game here. Include game.h. So if you're including a file that you created, a class that you created yourself, you use quotation marks again. You don't use these. This is for standard libraries like iStream and stuff. But for your own, you use the quotations. So everything here is fine. We have menu, get choice, all that stuff. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to have this structure. I'm going to create a game object here like this. And our goal is going to be to create the while loop, the game loop, inside of an update function in game. So I'm going to say, let me just run this again, because it seems that this shit is red. I don't know why, but whatever. So functions. So what you want is a void update function. So in the update function, we're gonna just kind of update everything, and we're gonna, that's gonna be our game loop. Okay, that's gonna be our game loop. So the way we define that is this. Void was the type we had, game is the class, and then update. See how it shows up there? And we're gonna define it here. These are the definitions. Constructors and destructors. There we go. So this update function is gonna hold everything with the menu. That has to do with the menu, like that. So basically we're just gonna call game.update like this, and it should be fine. Well, you know what? We're actually just gonna keep the while loop. Let me see. We'll do it like this. We'll keep the while loop outside, and we're gonna do game update within that loop. And whoops. And we're gonna have another function here, which a variable as well. We're gonna create a boolean, and it's gonna be called quit. And the boolean equals false from the beginning. So it's gonna be false from the beginning. So in the destructor, I'm giving it a value. I'm creating it in the H file. So, or in the constructor, I'm giving it a value, start value. So it's gonna be quit in the beginning, and the constructor runs as soon as I create an object. So as soon as I created it, this will run. So that's what a constructor is. A destructor runs when the object is destroyed, which is at the end here, at the end of the program. So yeah, we're gonna do this. So we have a function here, update. I'm gonna keep that last. This is gonna be a void game is want quit. I think I'll just call it want quit, and then if this is gonna be a boolean. If this, we gotta create one of these as well. So boolean want quit like that, and then we'll be able to define it because we hadn't created it in here before in the H file, but now we should be able to create it. Quit. If we want to quit, then we will return true, or I can just return quit actually. Return this quit. There you go. So basically what this does, this isn't even a function really, it's a getter and a setter. So I'll just call it an accessor and modifier like that, and I'll say get quit. Now let me just explain this for those of you who are confused a little bit. We have this function here that just returns this quit variable. You're like, why don't you just get the quit variable? Because it's under private, and anything that's under private is only accessible to you within the class. So we want to send it outside. We want to send it outside here. Then we need to create a function that kind of sends it out for you. And this isn't always required, but it's a safety thing that you can do if you want. Just one extra step so you don't mistakenly change some variables and stuff. Just keep them on the private. So get quit. So we're gonna do get quit, and then get quit is just gonna return quit, basically. So that's great. And the update function is just gonna update everything, all the states and stuff. But the while loop is gonna go through while game dot get quit is false. Then we're gonna keep running. And game is gonna be false from the beginning. So we're actually gonna do that whole quit thing within there we go, within game. So while it's not quitting, we're gonna do game.update. So this is in main just to show you the structure of the game loop, because we can add more stuff in here if we want, but we'll try to keep everything within update here, just like that, on all the functions and everything, and all the getting inputs and everything. So we're gonna create some functions to help us out with everything and make everything a little more dynamic, basically. Modifiers, there we go. So I'm just gonna put get quit under. It's a good idea to keep everything structured like this. So we want one function that gets an input. So, and that gets choice from an input. So int get choice, like that. So just gonna return choice. And the reason we're making a function for this, and we're not just doing sin get choice, is because we want to add a bunch of error checks in there for faulty inputs. So we're not gonna do that. So also this using namespace, I'm just gonna put it in game in here, or in game.h, because we're gonna need that in here. Shouldn't actually use using namespace and things, but for this tutorial I will. So we'll be using so much input output. But get choice, I can also just go ahead in here, quick actions, create definition, and it'll create one for me in game.cpp automatically here. It's a little quicker way of doing things. So this is where I'm gonna do stuff. I'm gonna return a what do you call it? A value. Return choice. There we go. So this way we will be able to get a choice anytime we want. So this is a get choice. Let's see, switch. And the switch will depend on get choice here. There we go. And this is also, you write this to make sure you get that it's part of the class. So this is a pointer to everything in the class itself. Again, watch class tutorials, you'll understand it. I'll explain it better there, but I'm trying to just do this as a game tutorial basically. So let's just recap. So we're gonna get a choice in here using cin, do all the error checks, and make sure the choice comes out right. Okay, so if it doesn't, we'll exit the game, or we'll just tell it that, okay, this is the wrong choice, you can't make this choice, please enter a choice again. So this will be our safeguard for the next step, which is here. We'll make sure that this is a valid number or valid anything, and we can at least quit the game if something happens. So we have a bunch of stuff here, we're great. In main, we're just gonna copy that. Actually, we're gonna create another function in game.h, which is void print menu, like this. And game, I'm gonna create a definition for it using cheat hacks, like this, in game.h. So now we have a print menu function here, and I'm just basically going into main and I'm copy pasting all of this stuff into that. And get choice we have already, so we're just gonna remove get choice as well. See how small main has become now? Main is much smaller now, but print menu, everything in the class is gonna be bigger. So we have print menu here. This is not a modifier, this is actually, these are actually functions, so they're gonna be under functions here. There you go. So we have get choice, print menu, everything. Okay, so what we're gonna do is in the update, we're gonna do a this print menu, and then the get choice will do itself. Cin choice, and we'll do a cout and enter choice like that. So we'll do enter choice, do that, print the menu, get the choice, and then we'll do all kinds of stuff. So if we're quitting, we're just gonna say this quit equals true. Boom, easy as that. And then the rest will just handle itself. So this update function will print the menu, get a choice, and choose valid option. And then we'll just quit the game. All that stuff is self-explanatory. And yeah, there we go. So that is basically the code for that. Let me run this. We'll crash and burn, I'm pretty sure. Nope. So enter choice 0. It quit. Something happened now. I don't know what the hell happened. What the hell happened? I think my hard drive is bugging out. I'm pretty sure. Oh god. What the hell? Okay, sure, dude. I don't even know what's going on. Okay, sure, man. Let me just do this again. Sorry about this, guys and girls. Let me just run this again. Hopefully it saved everything and didn't crash and burn, or I'll have to do everything again. Nope, it did not. So we seem to be fine. Sorry about that. But as you can see, I could quit the game as soon as I entered 0, and we didn't have a problem. So there we go. That is step 1. We created a game class, and it can quit the game. We can run the game, and main is a lot cleaner. And we created our first class. So again, please, for the 100th time, go check out tutorials. Try to learn about classes. Try to learn about what they're about and everything. Basically, the basic part is that they represent objects. They represent things and objects from the real world, and they help you kind of abstract away things, kind of divide everything up in the program and make it a little cleaner and better and easier to understand. So that's basically object-oriented programming. So just go ahead and check that out. Hopefully you'll understand everything that I'm doing here, because I realize I can't make this as a proper C++ tutorial. It'll take too long. It'll be too annoying to just sit and explain everything as I do it, since I jump back and forth between so many concepts. It's better to just go learn it from a structured tutorial and then come here and try to create a game together. All right, so just best of luck with everything. Keep working hard, and I'll see you guys and girls in the next one. Okay, bye bye.